Welcome to Basic Systems for Startups and Micro Business. The next point we're going to be looking at is your staff handbook. And I know when you hear staff handbook, you're like, but I have just 1 or 2 employees. I don't need a staff handbook. No. You see, I like to keep things as simple and as easy as possible. When we say a staff handbook, basically, what does a staff handbook entail? Maybe your vision statement, your mission statement, your core values, your culture, your rules and regulations, offenses, sanction, employee responsibility, work schedule, your own responsibility as a business owner in terms of benefits, or what things that you're supposed to do for your employee. Very simple, keep it short, keep it very brief. But a staff handbook is necessary. Now let me tell you something. In the case if anything should happen and you and your employee have to go to court, either you charge your employee to court or your employee takes you to court, or in the case of a disgruntled employee, two very important documentations that the court will require from you. The first thing is the employment contract. If an employee has worked for you for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and there is no employment contract, you can almost say that that person is not your employee. Do you understand? So your employment contract is very important. The next documentation that is very important in the case of a legal battle between you and an employee is your staff handbook. You must have a staff handbook. You cannot penalize an employee for something that you did not call an offense. So your staff handbook is basically carrying the introduction of your company, is carrying sanctions, rules and regulations, is carrying expectations from you as the business owner and from the employee. So keep it simple. When we say staff handbook, it can be 5 pages, it can be 3 pages, it can be 10 pages. Don't think that it has to be 50 pages or 100 pages. But the next thing you need to have as a startup or a micro business are your internal control measures. This one is a no-brainer. Your internal control measures. How do you have checks and balances? What are the checks and balances that you need to have in your business? If you sell, how do you receive goods? If you issue out, what is the process of issuing out? What are the source documents or the tools that you need to have in between movement of cash and goods such that there's accountability and there's transparency? This is basically what your internal control is answering for you. Your internal control helps you ensure transparency and accountability, that everything that ensures that movement of cash and goods within your organization is traceable or are traceable. That is simply what internal control measures are doing for you. The next thing that you should have are SOPs. Now, I always say keep it simple. When I say SOPs, if your business is small, if you are a startup, if you are a micro business, avoid setting technical dragons. I don't think you need all those flow charts and all those big things that are absolutely unnecessary. Your SOPs can be checklists. What do you need to have SOPs for? How to attend to customers, how to greet customers, how to handle inquiries, how to raise requisitions for expenses, how to receive goods that come into the store, how to issue out goods that come into the store. All these things are SOPs. They don't need to be long. Some of them will be 3 lines or 3 steps, some will be 10 steps, some will be 9 steps. Keep it as simple as possible. Avoid too many jargons. Because the goal of communication is that the person who you are talking to understands exactly what you are saying. So if you prepare an SOP or you just go online and buy an SOP template and the staff that you are giving it to does not understand the technicalities, then that communication has not been completed. So keep your documentations as easy and as simple as possible. The next thing you also need to do as a startup or a micro business are trainings. Remember, there's a very high tendency that when you employ, you are not able to afford very high level employees. Like I said initially, probably you're employing a sales person or a customer service person. You probably cannot afford somebody who has 5 years experience, masters or whatever. So when you're going to get somebody who probably has an SSC or an OND or a fresh graduate with 6 months to 1 year experience, it means that you're going to have to train the person. You will not bring in somebody with 1 year experience and then assume that they should perform at the level of somebody who has been working for 5 years. No, it's not possible. So what must you do? You must train. You must train. Trainings are a lifeblood for your organization. Make trainings a culture. If you see trainings as an expenditure or as something that is very stressful, you most likely will be in bondage, almost like being in bondage, in your organization. Make trainings a culture. King come, king goes. Trainings are a lifeblood. What type of training should you give? When an employee comes in, onboarding is part of training. Product knowledge training is there. Technical skill is there. Hard skills are there. That's for skilled businesses. Soft skills are there. What do you train in soft skill? Communication, how to sell, persuasive marketing, emotional intelligence. All these things are part of soft skill. But there must be a life in your organization. There should be a culture. When you are giving product knowledge trainings, the features of your product, the benefits of your product, your inventory trends, everything that makes it easy and seamless for your staff to be able to sell your products and your services are what you call product knowledge training. So make trainings a culture, and you will never have to worry that people are coming and people are going and you're tired of training. Make it a culture. Finally, performance evaluation and performance appraisal. Now, performance appraisal usually they are carried out, let's say, after your probation period. Now, even though you have a probation period of say 3 months or 6 months or 1 year, whatever, you can carry out evaluation of a person's work at any time. After 3 weeks, after 1 month, after 6 weeks, you can carry out an evaluation. Now, here is the thing: if you do not prepare the staff job description with KPI initially, you will not be able to carry out performance evaluation or appraisal. So this is very important that you do a very good job description with KPI that is specific, that is measurable, and has a time frame. So if, for example, you are telling the staff that you should be able to increase revenue, let's say by 2%, based on what time frame? Is it monthly? Is it quarterly? Is it 6 months? Is it 1 year? Your KPIs must be specific, they must be measurable, and they must have a time frame, and then they must be realistic. So, but if you do not prepare accurate job description with KPI, you will not be able to carry performance appraisal. Performance appraisals are very, very important. It helps you communicate performance based on facts and figures. Performance appraisal helps you ensure that you do not tell an employee your performance is not good based on what? Based on what are the metrics, what are the factors that you use in telling me that my performance is very poor. So appraisals are very necessary. They are very important for you for confirmation of staff, for increment in salary, for appreciation. It's very, very crucial for your organization. So these are the points. If you haven't watched from the beginning of the video, go back to the previous video and watch. We have started from basic systems for startups and micro business. I hope this helps. Have a lovely day.